Welcome to the Bodybuilding Banter Podcast, your number one source of all things bodybuilding. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on future episodes. Now, here's your host, Leroy Rollins.
All right, bud.
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Aye, good, mate, good.
This didn't mess up your schedule at all, did it?
I was meant to train earlier, but it wasn't too bad. It's a Saturday, so got plenty of time. The gym
Perfect.
shut 6 o'clock, 6 p.m., and it's 2 p.m. now where I am, so plenty
Perfect.
of time, man.
I just finished legs, so I'm ready to just curl up on the couch and do nothing the rest of the day.
Right, you were training earlier though, You were training at 6.
Yeah, it would have been, about
Yeah.
6:30, 7 o'clock a.m. when I got there.
Do you eat before you go train then?
Yeah, I got up and had a pretty big bowl of oats today and fueled up. Today, I wouldn't have trained as early, but my girlfriend was meeting with her mom a little bit earlier in the day than we originally thought, so she wanted to train early, and I was like, not ideal, but you know what? I'll go get it done with you, but we got it done.
What time do you prefer training at?
Depends on what I'm doing. I find if I do legs, I'd rather have more time, so I can kind of mentally get ready for it and eat up. But if it's an upper body day, I can get up and have some rice cakes with jam, get some pre-workout in me, and I'm good.
Really?
Yeah. About yourself?
Not too sure. Probably midday, but then again, later on better. I could definitely not train it that early.
Yeah.
Even if it was an arm set or anything, it's too early. I feel it's especially now because I'm dieting, it's I need as much food as possible around my training.
Yeah. Right now, actually, I just started a new job a couple weeks ago, so I'll go at 4:30 in the morning.
Right. Fucking hell, that's mad.
it's definitely it's not ideal, honestly. I've noticed the last few sessions, I think it was Thursday, we got rained out. I work construction and we got rained out, so I was able to go to the gym at 2 in the afternoon, and that was perfect. I was well fueled up. I had energy. I felt good pump, was strong. And then the next day, when I went in the morning, I was okay, there's a difference between training this early.
I used to work in construction, and that's what I used to do. But it was just the same as what you said. You would finish at different times, and it was murder. I didn't think I could do what I'm doing now, doing that job. Because I was working away from home, so it was had to go up at 3 a.m. and then drive to work, then drive back.
That's what I'm doing, man. That's what I'm doing right now, and it's rough.
Oh, I bet. Oh.
Thankfully, I'm in the off season, right? So I don't have to do cardio or anything, or starve all day.
That's true. I'm not that bad, I get hungry there, but I'm not suffering. I wouldn't say I'm suffering there.
Yeah, good. All right, let's dive into prep. So you're what, 4 weeks now?
4 weeks tomorrow. 4 weeks tomorrow. So,
how you feeling? About the whole thing? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you happy where you are?
Definitely excited. I'm buzzing for it. I love it. But it's obviously first time competing. So my coach is happy. He's WNBF pro, so he's happy with how I look. But can you doubt yourself? You're always have I took enough time? Will I be lean enough? And
how long of a prep have you done?
So this is week 16, so it'll be 20 in total.
So 20 weeks total.
He said it's plenty, but Ken, you see boys on social media and you're always they're doing 30-week preps and they're refeeding, and I'm shit. But my coach is stop looking at it. He's
man, I had to unfollow people because I was getting in my head.
Oh mate, I've done it. It's even boys that I like watching, I'm
yeah.
Fuck,
you're I can't do this. I love you, but leave me alone.
Telling you, man, it's murder. But I need to just keep thinking to myself it's my first time competing, so learn for it. Learn as much as you can, and
yeah.
So
nice. So is this the only show you're doing, or do you have more lined up?
Just the one, and now just the one now. It's the 23rd of June. Goals obviously to place top 3, then hopefully get an invite to the finals. But just need to see how that plans out. But he's no mentioned any other comps to me as of yet. So just playing it by ear. I know there's a few like 4 weeks later or 5 weeks later. So there's always room to do that and to book in. So there's always that option there. But right now it's just like the one that's been focused on the now. So
right. Now, are you doing juniors and open or just juniors?
It's novice, so
novice.
Like,
okay.
He made me novice, but like I never realised until somebody messaged me like earlier today that like I could have done junior, but I thought you had to be like below 23, and obviously I'm 23. Yeah, I'm 24 next year, but like I never really had an idea about categories and like all that stuff. And he was like, "I want you to do novice," and I was like, "Oh well, like you're a coach, so I know." But he's a judge through the UK DFBA.
Oh, okay.
So like. He kind of knows what he's looking for. If you want to say. Obviously, he won't be judging me, but it's when he's saying, "Ben, you're looking well for the time being," and it's like, if you're a judge saying that, then hopefully you are. But
100%.
But I've told him not to lie to me because I hate people who are like, "Oh, you look great," and I'm like, "Didn't fucking lie. Yeah, just tell me like, if I'm not looking good enough, then tell me. Yeah, do you know what I mean?"
It's interesting too, like people that. Like friends and family and stuff that like don't have that standard, right? Like everybody that's not into bodybuilding thinks you look like $1 million right now.
That's bad, yeah.
But then you look at yourself and you're like, meh.
I know.
No, it's definitely a huge mind game, especially like to the point where you are like 4 weeks out, man. Like you just got to be able to mentally get through it now.
Just like basically just saying to myself like do everything your coach is saying and then. That's it. Didn't listen to it. Like, obviously, if people are like, "Oh, do more cardio," or like change your calories on rest days, and I'm like, "Fuck!" Like, I'm just like, just ignoring everybody. Do what he says, and you just didn't do anything out with it. So that's all I'm doing now. But
it's hard with social media too, right? Because you see people saying like, I don't know, like have carbs at this time, but you have them at this time, or you do cardio. Fasted, and people say, well, fasted doesn't matter, and like all these things come into your head, and you're like, am I doing anything right?
Like everybody else is doing it's like I'm not doing that, and it's shit. But it is what it is. Like I've been lean before, so it was like I was really lean 2 years ago, and then I was like obviously wanted to grow, and I like, can you see these boys doing like an 8-week bulk? And they're expecting like double the size, and I'm like, right, behave. So I took like 18 months out and gained 21 kilo, and now I'm doing like 12 or 13 so far. So it's like, and like already it's like I'm so much bigger, and like especially my legs, like my lower body's just came on leaps and bounds. But
awesome,
happy with that. Like, but I know what you mean by the whole like your family and friends. Like when I was before I had even started cutting, like when I had finished my off season, they were like, "Oh, you look great as young." I'm like, what the fuck? I was like,
what are you talking about?
Man. Wonder, but...
No, it's crazy. So talk to me now about like what's your training like right now, and kind of what's the structure been for the prep?
So like I do my own programming. Like my coach was like certain stuff like we had in it was like lower back loading and stuff like. So I was doing a push pull legs rest, push pull legs. In fact, tell a lie. I was doing push pull legs, then push pull legs, but it was like time I was coming into day like 5 and 6, I was
you're toast.
I was fucked, man. So it was like then I changed it to push pull legs rest, push pull legs rest. So like that was working perfect. Kind of like that's been how it's been for the whole of prep so far. And it's just better like recovery, but now obviously rest days is cardio, so it's like you're not really getting a full rest day now, but it's still a little easier. Do you know what I mean?
That's one thing that I definitely took more attention to this past prep was recovery. I was like on rest days, like until I had to, like you said, like eventually you're going to be doing cardio or something. But until I had to, like I would do nothing. Like when I wasn't working, I was like on the couch and like I would go and make sure like the gym I go to, like they have like these things called hydro massage. So it's like a water jet chair thing, and I would like massage after every single workout, and like I would stretch and foam roll.
It's such a big thing,
Yeah, because like I was getting, like you said, like you get to the point where you're just so dead. And that's the name of the game, right? But if you can fight that for as long as you can, or do other things to like kind of mitigate that, then for sure.
Yeah, like I hate rest days. Like when I was younger, like you learn, is what you said, like recovery's like so important. So it was like when I was younger, I was always like, no, I need to be in the gym. Like I need to go, even just do arms and abs. And I know it's like you learn to like just chill out, man. Like like learn your body. And I was doing like when I was in off season, I was eating like double the calories, so it was like your recovery was so much better. And like now it's like I'm waking up and I'm like, fucking hell, like I must have done too much because I can't walk. Or so you're like, right, I need to take the volume down, and it's like a lot more than just going in and training. It's like the whole recovery thing's massive to me now, and sleeping and
that's my missing link is sleep, because I have to get up so freaking early. Like I'm in bed by like 9:30. But say like even I fall asleep by 10, then I'm up at 4, and that's like best case scenario if I get to sleep till like 4:30. Like that's like 6, maybe 7 hours on a good night, and like I definitely notice when like I can sleep a little bit more, like on the weekend, for example. Like even if I get to sleep till like 7 a.m., that's like an extra like 2 hours, 3 hours, which is huge.
Now I've kept my sleeping, like I'm a personal trainer, so like self-employed, but like most of my clients are at night, which is fine, but just like unsociable hours. But one thing it's like I noticed is that like I just like had been selfish for the past this 20-week prep. It's like if it doesn't benefit my training, then I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like I had some clients that were like, "Oh Ben, I can't make this week. Can I come in at 6 a.m?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "How would we used to do it?" And I'm like, "I know, but like I'm trying to prioritize sleeping." Do you know what I mean? And if I'm working till 10 p.m, then getting home at 5:30, say I've got one more meal, then it's like you're in
midnight,
then up at 5:30, like no chance on prep. That's not happening. Like
I was until I switched to construction. I was a full-time PT as well for 4 years, so I know 100% what you mean, man. And like I would do clients like say like 6 a.m. till maybe 10 or 11. And then come home or train. Then I would train, meal prep and stuff, and then I would go back for like 4 in the afternoon till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and it was like, man, this is brutal.
It's so much, Like
your days are just so long.
I know, it's so unsociable. Like my girlfriend and my pals, they'll work like 9 till 5 job. So it's like if I'm working in the morning, I didn't see them. Then they finish at 5, so they go to the gym, but I'm working at 5. So
yeah, and then you're going back. No, 100%. And that's a huge reason why I had to leave the industry, because same thing. Like my girlfriend, she worked like a 9 to 5, so I would get up, I'd be gone before she's even up, and I'd be at work. And then when I'm done, 10, 11 o'clock, she's in the middle of her day. And then, like you said, by the time she's getting done work, I'm going back.
It's murder. It's like passing ships. Like I'll come in for like my work, and then she's in bed. I'm like, fucking hell, you never see anybody there. But it's not too bad, because today, for instance, Saturday, I worked this morning and she's off, so I see her Saturday. Then it's not too bad, but some days you're like, I wish I could just work like 10 till 4 or something, kind of like in between that middle slot. But most people work 9 till 5, so that was only.
That's the thing, right? You're working around everybody else.
100%, but you need to. You can't just be like, well, exactly that. You need to work around your client, which is shite, but that's what it is, man.
No, for sure. Okay, so training we got into. Cardio right now, how much are you doing?
2 half-hour sessions on the Stairmaster, so, like,
for a week?
Days change. My rest days change due to it being, like, push-pull legs, rest, push-pull legs, rest, so it's like...
It rotates.
The rest day rotates, which is... I wish it never, but it's just the best for recovery, so I'll do 30 minutes Stairmaster in the morning, like, before I eat, just get up, go do it, and then come home, then for the full day to just, like, rest or work, or... Yep. And then now, from last week, I'm sure... last week or the week before, it's been my coach had then, right, your second rest day now, another 30 minutes, So, steps at 10,000, cardio, 2 half-hour sessions every rest day. It's 1 half-hour session a rest day now. So, works out 2 a week or 2 every 8 days. So,
Oh, that's not bad at all.
It's not bad. I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, my calories are still pretty high as well, okay? So it's like, you see people and you're like, holy shit, they're on so little calories, but I'm dropping like consistently like a kilo or 2.2 pound, whatever you call it, there like every single week. So he's like,
wow.
we're not changing it, Ben. And I'm like, can you always say like, do we need to add in more cardio or take out food? And he's like, no, like that rate of loss is like perfect. So he's like, I'm like, right, just Ken. You know what I mean? But
what's been your weight change from the start of prep to now?
so it was 91 kilo at the start.
91?
So it's 203 pound, I think it was.
Okay.
And then now my average, like I'll take my weight every morning and then calculate your average in a week. So my average this week's been, it's either 79 or 80 kilo, which is like 100. I dropped 30 pounds in average, I think. 30 pound average.
Yeah, so you're like 175-ish?
I think it's about that. Maybe 176 or something, I'm sure it is.
That's awesome, man. Good for you. So you got 4 weeks left, so do you expect maybe another 5-6 pounds?
I think so. That's what I'm hoping for. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's mad because the way you look, it's like like I was in the gym the other night and like the lighting's so good in the gym, and obviously you've got a pump in that, and you're like, holy shit, I'm so lean. And then I'll go into the room that I pose in, and you're like,
what happened?
Like I've gained 10 pounds walking to the room, man. So it's like, you see some boys and I'm like, oh, they look insane. And then you're like, right, how good is the lighting they're using? And then it's like, my coach said to me, Ben, the lighting you're in isn't that good, but if you can look good in lighting that's not that good, imagine what you're going like on stage, and it's like, you're always like trying to chase a good lighting, but you want to be honest to yourself as well.
That's the thing, right? You see like all these amazing photos on Instagram and like stage shots and stuff, and like I was trying to tell like my clients, because I coached the show that I did, I coached like 5 or 6 people, and I was like, I promise, like once you get a tan, you get a pump, you get under that lighting, like you can look shitty the morning, like say your hotel room doesn't have good lighting, right? You look shitty and you're like, man, like what have I been doing for 20 weeks? But then you get your stage shots back and you're like, who the hell is that?
It's mad, eh?
Right? Because it's perfect, right? Like it's the perfect lighting, the perfect tan, you got a pump, you got the oil, you're shiny, like you've got all these good things.
That's crazy, yeah, like that's what he keeps saying to me. He's like, and you'll look good on stage, and it's just like, right, I know, but I want to look good to know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what's diet look like right now?
So my like diet's like, if it fits your macros.
Okay.
But I keep it the same every day. Like, I didn't have like, I won't have like a bar of chocolate to fit your macros. So obviously, even though it's still, if it fits your macros, it's still like relatively clean, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, diet, like, I'll have, like, either oats or something in the morning. I was having, like, a chicken meal, like, chicken and some carb meal. So I have carbs, like, every meal, Like, I'm still on 2,400 calories. It's like, what is my protein? Like, 230 protein, maybe.
Okay.
Double check. 230 protein, about 275 carbs and 50 fat. So, it's still, like, a decent amount of food, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I have, like, my breakfast, lunch, dinner, then like another like 2 meals at night, so it's perfect. That's what I mean. But
awesome.
Like, I don't think fats will go bad in it, Ken. It's just up to him. Like, obviously being a PT and a coach, you know how to lose weight. Like it's just simple. I think it's simple. But the whole reason me getting a coach was bodybuilding being so different. And then people talk about sodium levels and kind of like water, and you're like, I'm like, fuck.
Like, that's over my head.
No, I'm like, I've no idea about that even. How you even start doing that? Do you know what I mean? So, but diet's fine. Like, I get hungry sometimes, obviously. Like, but I'm no like hating it. Like I'm still feel fine. I actually like these calories. Like on my off season, it was like 4,400 calories, and it was like that sounds good. That sounds fine. But see, when it's over 18 months, it's like fucking hell. I hated it. Like it was like. Your timer was going off, and you're like, "Oh, next meal's due," and you're like, "I'm not even hungry." Yeah. So
now, when you were eating that, were you trying to keep it pretty clean too, or were you a little bit more flexibility? Because at that point, like I mean, I'm the same way, and I'm not a big guy. Like once I start to get like 3,500 to 4,000 calories, if I want to keep it clean, like I get full.
Oh, that's hard. I know. It was like it was clean, but then again, you'd have sometimes like, oh, like say like I was like if I was having bagels and like meat or something, like I would have like put in like chorizo and then cheese on top of it to get fats in, and again like things like that. But it was still relatively clean. Like I wasn't like pizza every day. Like takeaways. It wasn't like that. It was still like tracked, cooked, everything. So
wow,
it was still kind of clean. But as you say, it was disgusting. Like going to your bed feeling so sick and fucking hell. Like even the thought of it now is making me feel like, oh my god, I can't. I'm not looking forward to going back to it. But
it's so funny, eh? Like you, like people think they're like, oh, you guys can eat so much. Like you're you're training hard, you're building all this muscle, and it's like, man. Like, it gets to the point where you're like, it's a chore to eat, which is so ironic because on the flip side in prep, all you want to do is eat. And it's just, you can't win either way. You're either starving or you're too full.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what you say there. Like, my clients would be like, oh, I wish I had your problem. And I'm like,
you don't.
No, it's hard. Like, it's not a case of, like, oh, I'll have the pizza or I could go that. It's like, I'm no hungry. It's like, you finish your biggest meal ever. And then I put another meal in front of you and you have to eat it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, aye, but, you know what I mean? It's like, I found that a lot harder than gaining weight. So it took me 18 months to gain 21 kilo, and I'm sure I lost 10. So I lost half it in like 10 weeks or something. Like, like my weight, like, can lose weight a lot quicker and easier than gaining it, but just being tall and like thin like ectomorph, like it's just the name of the game, eh?
Yeah, I have like a similar problem with like gaining. Like once I get to like 175 to 180 pounds, like my body's like set point, and like I can stay there pretty mindlessly. Like I've been doing this so long that I just like habitually eat like 6-7 meals a day, protein with every meal. Like I just kind of know, like it just mentally, right? You have that kind of checklist. But if I want to like step on the scale above 180, like I gotta like force feed a little bit, and like. As much as I love food, like you just said, you're just like, you look at the plate and you're like, man.
Even if somebody put like a pizza in front of me, I would still be like, I'm not even wanting that. Like I didn't care what it is. Like I'm still like, something that tastes amazing on the off season. Like what is it? Anything like something that was like, oh my god, I love this. Like 2 days later, you're like, oh, I hate it already because it's forced, like just chewing and swallowing and putting water in your mouth and oh fucking hell, hated it, man. Hated it. Like it was so shit, man.
That's so funny.
But it's worked. So like it's kind of worked, So I'm doing like I was 70 kilos lean before, and now I'm like 79, 80 kilos and almost as lean as what I was. So it's
Sweet.
like a lot of like muscle being put on some tissue. So that's good. Like happy with that.
You did a lot of right things then.
Aye, but it's hard. Like I was always used to being like going on holiday and having abs and getting like your face being lean, and then when I got told like you're gonna have to come out your comfort zone, it was like I hated the way I looked. Like not too bad, but it was like, oh fucking hell! Like going on holiday and you're like your coach, oh what about doing a wee cut, and he's like no, and I'm like, like going on holiday, keeping the t-shirt on and that, man. But
we're going. My girlfriend and I are going to Mexico actually week today.
Week. About?
What's that?
Where about? Are you going to Cancun or are you going to?
Yeah, Cancun.
I went to Riviera Maya, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. It's amazing. Have you been to Mexico before?
Yeah, we actually went, so the resort we're going to, it's like kind of 4 resorts in like one big strip.
It's crazy how big it is, eh?
Yeah, so we stayed on like the east side, now we're going to stay on the west side. So same resort, so we know about it. Food's amazing, the service is great, the gym is decent, but I'm a little heavier than when I went last time, and like... You know, again, like we talked about at the beginning, like everybody's like, oh, like you look good, like t-shirt on, like, you know, everything's fitting good and I'm all puffed up, but like abs are gone. And those beach pictures might be sucked in a little bit.
It's shite for Instagram, but then again, and you've got a goal to, what is your goal? You're going to compete like next year or what is it?
Yeah, so what had happened, so I won the overall, so I did 2 shows. I did April 13th, I think was the day, and then I had another show a week later. So I did 2 different shows, 2 different feds. The first one, I won the overall, which qualified me for the Canadian Nationals this year and next year. So everybody, including my coach, wanted me to do this year, but I was so fried after prep. Like, I was just, this prep we did 28 weeks, which was quite a bit longer than I'd done before. And we pushed pretty good this time, and I was pretty fried. Like, I was just, I was ready to be done. So then I did the show a week later, and I kind of had time to think about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to take my off season. So basically I have until next April before I'd have to start prep for nationals next year, which is in August.
That's a lot of time to play with. Okay.
Yeah, so I got a full year to really just maximize and do what I can and try to hit some new numbers and make some progress. And then the plan would be to do the Canadian Nationals next year and then do a show to try to qualify for WMBF.
Be class, eh?
Yeah.
Right, mate. That's the thing, like, even though you're going to go on holiday and feel like, but it's like, your goal's bigger than just a fucking holiday. Eh?
Yeah.
Like, in my mind, like, mine was this. Like, when I went holiday, I was like, I hated the way I looked, but I was like I could vision how I was going to look, eh? So it was easy. I was like, just get it done, man. Like,
oh, exactly.
It's simple, eh? Just come out your comfort zone, grow, look better than last time.
Yeah, and that's like I've definitely learned a lot since my last off season, and this will be like a good solid year. I've never really had this much time. Like, I've been competing. I think the last show I did was like my 8th show.
Really?
In like 3 years.
Well, that's a lot of time competing in a deficit, man.
Yeah, like I was in and out of a deficit like every 6 or 7 months for the last 3 years. So like I think my longest time between shows before I finished a show till I had to start prep again was like 8 months.
Really?
And like what are you gonna do in 8 months? By the time you recover from the diet, get back into the swing of things, and then it's like, shit, I got to start prep in another month and a half, right? So this time I'm like, okay, like I'm feeling pretty much back to normal again now as far as like hunger levels have stabilized, training. Like this is the first week where I actually felt like strong again, like to the point where I'm like, okay, now I have a base to start progressing from.
12 months as well, so that's perfect.
Exactly. I'll basically have the end of April was kind of when the shows were done till the end of next April. So yeah, 12 months to, I'd probably just get my body weight to like 180 because that's a decent surplus for me. And like at the point I'm at now, like for me to push much higher, like I'm only 5'7", I compete at 150, right? So to gain that 30 pounds in a year, like I don't think going up to 185, 190 this time will be overly necessary. Maybe like, after next year's season we go a little bit higher, but yeah, I think as long as my strength's going up, I think we'll have some new stuff to display on stage next time.
Definitely, yeah. That'd be good. Like,
yeah. What about you? So what's after this show? Like, will you like take a good chunk of time off, or like you said something about maybe qualifying and then doing the big one?
Well, so this is obviously my first time ever like competing. Like, I've been in shape before to go on holiday, but not just like a holiday shape, like pretty lean. But like I've never ever done an off season before. Like, I've never bulked in my life.
Right.
Like, I always come home for a holiday and then just be like start slacking.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago, I was like, I wanted to get bigger. So we took 18 months off season. So I was like my heaviest at 91, and obviously my like fattest. Like, to be fair. So it was like I never knew like where I would come back down to. So it was like now it's like sitting at 78, 79 kilo.
Sure.
Whatever I get to then, but then I spoke. What you asked there, like I spoke to my coach and I was like, "What do you think? Like plans for after the thing was?" I was like, "Do you want me to grow again, or do you want me to? If I get an invite to the British finals, would you want me to go to that?" And he said straight away, "No, my goals." Like, I started coaching with him like 2 years ago, so he's like seen me for a while now, and he's like,
"Yeah,
now my goal since the start has been for you to like place top 3 and then get an invite to the British finals. But if that happens and I do go to do it, I'm not sure if I'll like come up to maintenance or come up to go to surplus or whatever. For I'm no idea. That's just whatever he says. But I still feel that 20 weeks isn't enough. Like for like my hamstrings and glutes, like they're coming in a wee bit, but it's like, as you say, you're looking at other boys and you're like, fuck. Like,
yeah.
And he's doing it. But then again, Gordy, my coach, as I was saying, he's a judge for UK DFB, and he says there was a guy last year who came on stage who was like so shredded, and it came last because he never had like he just never had the size or he just looked so like a wee lad, like a wee boy. And he's like, for you, Ben, he's like, I'm 6'6", 6'1" on the dot, 6'1" maybe. And he's like, if you can get leaner still, which you're doing, and still have some size, he's like, I think you'll do well. So just again, remember what he says. Then after the show, just take it from there and see what he says. He's a gaffer.
That's the thing, right? People put a lot of stock into like one thing, right? So everybody's like, okay, I want to be really lean. Okay, but don't sacrifice size. Or it's like, oh, I want to be the big guy on stage. Okay, well, you still need to get lean. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a fine line between, and like, that's like the one thing this year, like when I won the overall, is like, everybody's like, wow, like that's awesome. Like, you know, you had the symmetry, you had decent size, you were lean, you had good proportion. I'm like, yeah, like that's the stuff I try to focus on because I'm never going to be the biggest guy, and I accept that, right? So it's like, okay, what else goes into bodybuilding? Like, yeah, you need muscle, right? But you also need a good balance. You need from top to bottom, is everything kind of put together nicely? Like, those are the things that like people just think you need to be big or you need to be shredded. And it's like, yes, those are factors, but there's like 4 or 5 other variables that also come into it.
100%. Like, you see, I've been to a few shows and it's like, you'll see that a lot, like, more so these boys who are bigger, but like, I'm like, fucking hell, like, you've been dieting for like a week. Like, like it's like maybe some abs, but it's like, that's it. And I'm like, fucking hell, like, can I at least put a bit of effort in your diet? And I'd be like, oh, I'll just do a show and I'll see how it goes. Like, in my mind, it's like, this 20 weeks has been like tunnel vision. Like, every single thing is like, nothing's been like out with that. Like, steps, cardio, training, food, sleep, everything's been like exactly what my coach has asked, and I think that's
perfect.
Like, I basically wanted to go on stage and be like, obviously goals to place top 3, but whenever you place, whatever I place, it's going to be like, you done everything possible, so you've not got an excuse to be like, maybe it was because you had that meal, or you never done that cardio session. But it's like, if I go on stage in 4 weeks and go, you gave it like fucking every single thing possible, then
that's what you got to do.
I just listened to the coach, so
sweet.
And enjoy it, obviously. Like, I've been enjoying this play. Like, some people are like, oh, I bet you're like, I can't wait till it's done, but I'm like, no, like I'm looking forward to it, and I want to dig deeper. Like, it's not a chore to me. Like, I'm fucking loving it. Like, I love training, I love the eating, I just love seeing the changes and knowing you're doing something.
Especially for your first time, right? Like, you're now trying to see like how far you can get, right? You've never been on stage before, right? So you have no kind of pre-standard of what you look like. So for you, this is all like, exciting, right? It's uncharted waters.
I love it, man. It's class. It's like the whole, like, people are like, oh, this has been like 16 weeks of your life, and I'm like, no, it's no, because like I took like an 18-month off season. In my head, it was always like that off season was to grow for this show. So it's been like 2 years dieting, obviously a surplus, but it's like I never did diet. Like, food was always tracked and like kind of what's worked there. But hopefully go on stage and think, fuck, you do look no bad, Ben. But you always doubt yourself, kind of self-doubting mentally. It's like, need to get rid of that though. I mean, try and be happy about it. But
it's a mind game, man. That's what I tell like my girlfriend. She did her first show with me this year, and you know, I told her, I said, the training, the cardio, like, you know, you do it. You just do it. It's part of what you do. But it's this up here in your head that starts to kind of fight you a bit.
Okay. I had a dream 2 nights ago. I swear to God, right? I had a dream. Woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and my dream was I had placed 7th. And I was like, I don't know why, but I woke up and I was like, you're posing with shit in your dream. Like, you better go pose. So I was like, I wanted to go just practice posing at like fucking 4 in the morning. But I was like, go to bed, Ben, man. Like, just chill out. Like,
just chill.
Man, my head was just minced, man. I couldn't stop thinking about it.
That's awesome. We've all had those. We've all had those dreams.
But you wake up and you're like, thank fuck. Like, hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, for sure. All right, dude. Well, this has been great. What I want you to do is, since this is your first prep, and there's many other athletes out there that are competing for the first time, share one or two tips that you can give the fellow first timers like yourself, to get through it.
Well, the main thing I've learned, and I've always known it, like listening to, like following, like I follow you on Instagram, I follow like your YouTube, like everything. It's like one thing is like make sure it's a priority.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will want to get in shape, but they're like their priority is the weekend, or their priority is going out for dinner with a girlfriend. Like you need to be like your goals here. Like plan out what you need to do and just fucking do it. Like then it'd be like, all right, I'll go here and I'll go on this holiday and I'll maybe be able to prep that. Like just give it everything. Like
yep.
But again, I would say give yourself time. Like I don't think I've had enough time. But then again, maybe I'll learn from it. Maybe 20 weeks is perfect. Maybe, but I'll learn from it. But get a coach who's competed before. Like then just try and date yourself. Well, date yourself if you want, but like as you spoke about, the mental games is like having somebody accountable there and making like saying to you like, listen, Ben, it's fine. Like it's chilled out.
You'll be
Like,
right.
give it everything. Like make sure it's your biggest priority to be in the best shape ever, and just didn't slip up. Like didn't be like, oh, I'll have that cookie and nobody will know about it. Like you need to love it as well. I think you can't just go, oh, I might compete. Like it looks good. Like you need to fucking love. Like if you didn't love training now, how are you gonna love? Like AJ Morris said this. He was like, if you don't love training, wherever you are now, like how are you gonna love it when it gets hard?
Yeah.
Like, or have a reason why. Like I still didn't know what my reason why is. Like I'm not too sure. I think it's like proving to myself what you can possibly do. Like
100%, man.
Like who makes like somebody's got to be the best in the world, and why can you not be it, or why can like I not be it, or you be it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So have a reason why. So I was a bit clever there, but like have a reason why.
That's perfect.
Like definitely be consistent with it, and then make sure it's like your number one priority is that bodybuilding. Like nice. So if your girlfriend says to you, "Let's go for a meal," just say no. Like be selfish. Like But then again, if your partner should understand that, like loads of people didn't understand that. So it's like my girlfriend's friends and family will be like, "Oh, that must be shit for you because Ben doesn't go for food or Ben doesn't do that." And I've been with my girlfriend for 7 years, and she's like, "Wow, it's 20 weeks. It's 20 weeks in his life. Like I've had, and I'm still gonna have loads of time after it." So it's like this is his goal. So she's epic. It's class. And even my mates are the same. They're always like, I've got a few mates that train, so they're always like, "Right, Ben, let's get to this gym. You done your cardio this morning?" I'm like, fucking hell, lads, let's get this. So, but then again, if it's just you, like, watch people who like motivate you. But then again, then watch people who you think look better than you, because then you'll start doubting yourself. But definitely make it. I think the biggest one's the priority thing. Like, make sure that's the number one thing on your list. Is just that's all I want. It's like all I want. I didn't want to go on holiday. I didn't want to go for a meal. Like that's just happening.
Laser focused, right?
100%. Like just tunnel vision. Just if it doesn't benefit you or it doesn't benefit your progress, then don't do it. Like say I'm not doing it. Like sorry, like I'm being selfish. Like you might lose friends, you might whatever, but sacrifice a few things and a reward it. Like
perfect.
I mean,
man, I 100% agree with everything you just said. I wholeheartedly agree. That was good. Plug your Instagram and stuff. Where can people find you?
So my Instagram is Ben Prentice Fitness. So, where are you going to post this? Are you going to post this on your YouTube, or what do you do with this?
This will be on YouTube,
right.
But I'll have all your stuff like linked below it in the description and stuff, so everybody can find you, give you a follow, and stay in touch with these next 4 weeks.
100%, I will. So Instagram's Ben Prentice Fitness. I just started a YouTube channel about 2 months ago, so I've been documenting my prep really, because I'm going to do it. Butt prep, so that's just Ben Prentice. I'm sure. But Facebook obviously is just Ben Prentice. But I post most of my training stuff's like Instagram and YouTube.
Yep.
But with the podcast and stuff, I didn't do it. This is my first ever podcast, so I was like,
woo!
But no, what did I say? But as soon as you asked me about it, I spoke to you on Instagram, I was like, well, fucking hell, that's perfect. And especially like it makes me feel good, like thinking to myself, like, oh, he's asked you, like, why has he not asked the other boy in the gym? It's like. Makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're on the right path. So
man, 100%.
Like I thought you invite me on. It's good, man.
It's a big brotherhood, this natural bodybuilding thing, right? And like there's a lot of you guys over in the UK that I really vibe with, I guess you could say. Like when I see your guys' stuff, like I don't have a lot of natural bodybuilding in Canada isn't the biggest thing in the world. Like bodybuilding's present, but it's a lot of like the other side, right? So like I see like, you know, yourself and, you know, Jack Piad, AJ Morris, Jack Thorburn, like all you guys that I've either spoken with, whether it's a podcast or just in the DMs or just following, like you guys are like, I gravitate towards you guys and I want to communicate because like, hey man, you never know. I might hop on a plane one day and we all link up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I love this so much that if I can talk to you guys and we just, you know, learn from one another and just kind of spread the word about natural bodybuilding, like I just love it.
Fucking same. Like that's, see what you just said there, like you love it, eh? Like that's it. Like see like Jack Thorburn, AJ, like I followed him, have done for ages. I met Jack at Body Power, but then again, you're at like fucking get like a 9-hour plane journey away. But then Matt, one of my goals this year is like on some point is to like travel, but train though. Like not just like go on different holidays, but like go to America to train. Like go to like Dubai and go to that Oxygen or whatever it's called. Like Ken and like if we can ever find a time that it's like we've spoke to each other for like a year or whatever. Yeah. And it's like you can meet up and train. I think that's fucking like I love that shit. Like that's what I want my life to be, is basically just like influencing people, obviously. Bodybuilding being the biggest one, and then just like meeting folk who are on the same wavelength as you and the same vision. Fucking so class, eh? Like it's madness, man. It's just good, eh? So I appreciate it once again, brother.
No, totally. Like next year, I'm really gonna look into going to Body Power, and just like you said, just kind of spending some time around, finding some good gyms. Like shit, the gyms you guys got over there, I'm so freaking jealous.
I know, but there's none near me, man. It's like, well, I went to that extreme gym. That's one about 50 minutes away, but I train like a sports center now, so like a leisure gym. So it's like
it's all right, like, but
there's like you old people moaning at you because you're shouting or whatever. But just put the earphones in and plug away, and then hopefully one day when you're big enough or whatever, you can move away to closer to a bigger gym or that. But
yeah, totally. All right, dude. Well, I will let you get on with your day. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, and I'll be keeping an eye on you these next 4 weeks.
I appreciate it, brother. All right, thanks very much, my man.
Yeah, have a good one, buddy.
You too, mate. Take care.
Bye.